nice to me, I don't really know how to respond. It kind of makes me feel like I'm not worthy of. I don't. It was the way I was raised. My mother was strict.
Well, you're probably more humble than people believe that you are. I mean, you're probably it's probably just a personality. You're probably more humble than, you know. Sometimes people look at somebody with confidence or somebody that can get something done, and they think that they're egotistical when really they're not. They're just, able.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think there was ever. I don't know. You could ask a lot of the guys up there. They may feel the way I do. I don't know. I know that there's the surest way to tell that a man loves what it is he's doing is A, he gets out of his car and his pace quickens as he comes into work, and B, if his mouth is dry and he's nervous as he walks on stage or walks into the control room. And those two things happen to me every day, every time I've ever had to appear in front of a crowd or behind a microphone. It's that drive to touch people and to hope that you touch them in a way that makes them want to touch you.
And a passion. I mean, you can still, you can hear it in you, Shane.
People are my passion. They always have been. They always will be. I mean, that's just the way, because of what happened to me when I was a child, and I've already gone through that at the inductions last year, so that'd just make me cry, and I don't want to tear up on the radio.
All right, if you don't want to tear up, I want you to tell me about this, because Buffalo is so different now than it was when in the late 60s, early 70s. Even the fact that Buffalo was a desired radio market is unusual for the residents now. But I was doing research, and you and I had this great conversation about this 747 club. And you just have to fill me in on this. This is such an incredible story that you were a part of. I just have to hear this story.
No. You want me to talk about a bar?
yeah, but from the sounds of it, this is not a normal bar. Certainly not by. It isn't a place where somebody bought it.
No, I was raised in bars, nightclubs, country clubs, and dives my entire life, and Club 747 is the greatest nightclub I've ever seen in my entire life, and yes, I'm very close to it. I'm very proud of it. I started working with Jimmy Cosentino probably 6 weeks after I came to Buffalo. We became friends. I found out. I don't want to waste time trying to figure out all this stuff, but Jimmy had a dream. So against his dad, he decided to do it because he found these 3 747 jumbo jets, interiors, the whole fuselage of the plane, and he had this vision. So he bought 3 of them, and we tore down the entire Buffalo side of the old executive, probably 150 yards, made a hallway out of it, and I was there with Pat Cosentino Sr. and Pat and Jimmy while the thing was building. While we built it, it was the dirt. I remember the dirt, the cement, everything. We built it to scale. It was just like the 747 interior, and my job, because I was going to open it up, was I designed, and I'm sure there had to be 200,000-300,000 or more people passed through there, but that semicircular cockpit, that plexiglass cockpit that you saw, and the big board, the picture in the back, which I think cost almost $2,000. That was the actual photo of the cockpit controls in the back. And then we designed the speaker systems, etc. And when we opened it, before I forget, I just want to say, I've never in my life ever seen or known of a club, ever, that was able to charge a $2, eventually it was reduced to $1, boarding pass fee to get in. And I think Club 747 did that for 7 or 8 years. He built another one in Rochester and kept the third for spare parts. But in the meantime, we put that, I think we had 12 monitors over the passenger seats. And I did it, I can't even remember how long I did it. But I do know that it was 4 abreast all the way down the entire hallway and into the executive the first night. It stayed that way the first year. I did contests and stuff like that. But the thing that I was so proud of was
the sound, the music, all that was my job. And the first night, we took it off. Everything was quiet. We took it dark, and then the control of the cabin lit up. I came in with my fancy dancy clothes. Said to everybody, "I love you guys. Stand by. Get ready to fly." Yada yada. And then it started very slowly, and on their screens was this picture of a 747 at the far end of the runway turning to come down the runway and make its takeoff. And you could hear the sound of the engines. Well, as it picked up speed, I continued to bring up the monitors. And by the time the 747 left the ground, all the drinks, all the tables, all the chairs, everything in the place was shaking. You could hear little screams and squeaks out of the ladies out there because it was amazing to see. And as the 747 took off and made its pass up, turning to the right, then the sky dissolved into a starlit sky. And as that dissolve was happening, the sound of the engines would be blended into the about a minute and 20 seconds. The both of them were together. The blending of the Moody Blues and a song called Higher and Higher. And the place just shook. And as soon as I had figured I had everybody scared enough, then I blended that into the music and we took off.
It's amazing.
The greatest club I ever saw in my life.
And once again, you touched on it quickly, but they were able to charge a cover charge, which they call a boarding pass.
Years and years.
And a lot of it was because there was a personality like yourself there. I mean, that's what brought the people there.
I don't know. I think that club was so god-awful gorgeous that they probably could have done it without me, but I helped build it. That's where my pride is.
And that's got to be amazing that you built that. And then, like I say, to have the foresight to be able to work with people that are so creative, that, I'm going to buy a couple 747 interiors and build a club. Anybody would look at somebody and think you're crazy.
Well,
I mean, you would.
People very close to him thought the same thing.
Yeah.
But he proved them right. I mean, he proved them wrong.
Yeah. Well, and
so, if what's inside you says, "I would like this," and the people